I noticed that it was male dominated. Ferraris and Rolexes. Women are emotional, women aren't disciplined, and that's not the case.
The percentage of women that are profitable is really freaking high.
Yeah. And I was able to pass it on my first try.
Hi, TFT team. I am super freaking excited about our interview today. So not only do we have a woman trader, hi, but we also have a payout trader. So this is like all of the good things. So I'll go ahead and before I get started, I want you guys to subscribe to our channel if you don't yet. Most of our viewers are not subscribers. So hit the subscribe button. Also like the video, leave a comment, do the bell for notifications, all of the good things for our YouTube channel. And I'll go ahead and give it over to you. So let us know your name, where you're from, and what got you into trading.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarai Antoine, also known as the female trader amongst my group. I originally started to trade about 3-4 years ago. I was introduced to the opportunity just through my cousin. Like at one point in time, he was trading and then he introduced it to me and I'm like, there's no way that this possibility is happening right now at this very moment. And one day I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? I decided to try it. I started to take a series of courses. And then from there, that's when the journey began.
All right. Very cool. Now, how did you find TFT?
Honestly, one of my members actually was taking the challenge. So one of my members was taking the challenge. And when he passed it, he was talking to me about, hey, there's this opportunity of being funded and going through the process. And I was like, you know what? The worst that could happen, I've been hearing about prop firms. And I actually took a series of different other evaluation tests through the prop firm channels. But once I landed on the funded trading program, one of the things that I can say that I really liked about you guys was one, the leverage and the minimum trading days. So once my member was able to pass the challenge and I was just kind of balancing between other prop firms, once I landed on the funded trading program, I said, you know what, this is it. And I was able to pass it on my first try. That was dope.
All right.
And you guys had a lot of good reviews. So that made a plus. I went on YouTube. I went down your Instagram. I think I went all the way down to the first post. And I was like, you know what? They're legit. And I kind of like that you were a woman that were interviewing other traders. So I was like, you know what? A platform that embraces female traders is a platform for me.
Oh my God. Absolutely. And what's so funny is like, I feel like most people that do the interviews with me, they're like skeptical. They're like, wait, does she trade? Does she know what I'm talking about? I'm like, yeah,
what is she doing?
I'm in it. And do you have any experience with like the TFT community? Do you have your own Discord or your own group, or do you get involved with the TFT Discord at all?
I'm a part of the TFT Discord. I don't really communicate as much, but I do have my own group called the Female Trader Group, i.e. job description female trader. And the reason why I decided to even launch the Female Trader Group, when I first started in the trading industry, I noticed that it was male dominated. It was a lot of male, not a lot of women giving valuable information. But shout out to the ladies that are giving valuable information, because there is a boatload of us.
Absolutely.
But when I really launched the Female Trader Group, was really to empower women to take the initiative and launch, I would say, excited when it comes to the financial markets, right? Because a lot of times you hear that women are emotional, women aren't disciplined, and that's not the case. Sometimes it's because, us as women, we haven't had the opportunity to really get exposed to the, I would say, opportunities that this market can give us. But once I was able to start becoming profitable, I was like, you know what? Once I get it and I grasp the concept, I definitely want to show other women how to maximize and capitalize. So even through the funded trader program, I have also recommended to my members. So I have about like 3 women in my group that is taking their evaluation phase. So I'm super excited to kind of add more women to the funded trader program community.
Yes. All right. And also shout out if you're a woman watching this, go ahead and drop a comment, because we need to connect. We need more women. Okay. One of the coolest things, and this is like not super specific stats, and I'm not super sure if they're accurate, but from what I've gathered so far in my like 8 years of trading, 7-8 years, is that the percentage of women that are profitable is really freaking high.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. Like, I think it could be because we're more visual learners when it comes to like looking at a chart, but women have got this. We really do. We got this in the bag, pun intended.
When it comes to women, right, we're more passionate in certain things. So the moment that, like, just like you said, even though there's not a lot of women that's a part of the industry, but once we get involved in the industry, our ability to be profitable is easier. Not because I don't feel like it's the gender thing, but just women, they're tedious, they're really focused when they're passionate about something that they like. So if a woman can last in this industry for more than a year, I feel like the sky is like there's no limit, because if we can lock in for a year and find something that we did not truly understand and now we finally grasp it, bust their doors after that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. And now that we're like getting the momentum going here, our number one thing that viewers want to see on YouTube is the strategy. So what kind of sets your strategy apart from other ones, and what is really the strategy that you've got?
So my strategy, I'm really a price action trader. When it comes to analyzing the market, I don't use as much indicators as, like, let's say it's indicator-based trader. I really like a pure-based chart, really naked chart. I focus on supply and demand, support and resistance, candlestick formations, just using those confluences to make my decision when it comes to entering the market. So I'm really focused on, hey, how did price react at this particular zone? What did it do previously? And making my decision from there.
Okay, very cool. And now, as far as like the nitty gritty goes, like what is your time frame? What's kind of your process that looks like whenever you go to make a trade for the day? Do you like look at the charts for a few hours? Like what is kind of the whole scope from start to finish of your day?
I'm an intraday trader. So my focus, I'm more so looking at the H1, M15, M30, and sometimes M1, just to kind of see how the market is reacting on the lower time frame. But that's my approach. I'm intraday trading. I'm probably taking a couple positions as the market is transitioned from either a buy or sell. So I'm really focusing on what the market is currently doing now and adjusting my strategy based on current price. So my focus is, when it comes to time frames, it's either H1, H4, and depending on, let's say if I have because the funded trading program now offers swing accounts. So depending on, hey, if I see a move that can like last for a long period of time, then I may take a swing position. But my focus on an everyday basis is intraday trading using the H1 time frame to enter and exit.
Okay, totally into that. Me too. Okay, next question would be, are you setting alerts whenever you get to make your trade? Is it just you look at the chart, you're like, all right, this is what I've got to work with. I'm going to go ahead and do you set alerts, or are you just kind of watching it all day? What is that kind of
Definitely not watching it all day. I feel like when I learned that, because when I first started trading, I used to be glued to my phone. Like MetaTrader 4, TradingView, everything was always on alert. What I realized is maximizing on what works best for you, right? So for me, if I have more free time during the weekday and I want to catch a London session move, I'll just strictly focus on London-based pairs. If I wake up a little bit later and I want to catch a New York session move, then I just focus on New York session. So I'm not spending all my time on the chart per se, but I do have particular days that I set off. Like I trade Tuesdays, I trade Wednesdays, and depending if news is hitting the market on Fridays, I'll trade Fridays. So my whole objective every month is to at least trade for like 5 to 6 days out of the month, just because sometimes I see when I'm consistently trading, I'll have some great days, but because of that impulse and the market consistently moving, me trying to catch a move every single day sometimes don't benefit me as much as sticking to particular days that I trade particular sessions and particular setups. So like, I'm just trying to find the best possible setup that is happening based on current price, but I'm always doing my analysis either the day before or just going over it probably an hour before market open or session open.
Perfect. Okay. And I think that's incredible for traders that are they've won a challenge, but they haven't quite like gotten that payout yet. It's just something to understand that you don't have to trade every single second of every day. Like just wait for the perfect setup and you're going to get it. It's like the market wants to give it to you. Just be patient.
And to piggyback off what you said, I always, even some of my members and my students, I'm always telling them, you don't have to chase the money, because at the end of the day, we are trading one of the largest financial markets in the world. So the money is already there. You just have to find a particular setup and maximize on the setup. Because if you put a penny lot versus, let's say, a dollar lot, you're not going to get as much money on the penny lot versus the dollar lot. But at the same time, you're going to gradually grow your lot size as you gain that experience. And I feel like that's the biggest problem sometimes I see new traders or beginner traders battle with, is trying to maximize right then, right there, over leveraging, putting crazy amount of lot sizes, not being patient, because I battle battled with that. As a beginner trader, I remember starting blowing out accounts. Like it was just insane until I realized that, hey, Sarai, you do not have to chase anything in the market. It's already waiting for you to be profitable, but you just have to find the setup and the sessions and the strategy that works best for you rather than consistently going in and losing money and going through the process all over. Because people don't realize when you're taking certain hits in the market, it's affecting you psychologically.
Yes.
So even though that you may have the confidence and you have the skill set, but because you're reacting on impulse and not really focusing on what's currently happening, especially revenge trading, you end up getting a major setback rather than moving forward.
And this is an amazing transition too. So the next question was going to be psychology. Like, how do you handle the losses? How do you handle knowing when to take profit? How do you handle just the entire psychology? What is really your psychology for trading?
Honestly, just to be super transparent, my psychology has just now gotten better within the last 2 years of me trading.
Okay.
Because one of the things I did not realize that this market can do to you, it can increase your level of greed. So when I was first trying to figure out, hey, why am I losing? Like my percentage is great, my ratio is great, but what is causing me to consistently take setbacks? And I started just researching. So one of the books that I read was Trading Beyond the Matrix, and it really talked about position size strategy, right? So one of the things that helped me when it comes to my psychology, one is having a prayer life. Like it's crazy, but really being rooted in God and trusting in, I would say, my journey and trusting in like, hey, at the end of the day, I know that I'm going to be successful because I put in the work, and not having an emotional attachment to the gains. So whether I have a winning day or whether I have a losing day, it's not really affecting me whether like, hey, if I win, great. If I lose, great. Because at the end of the day, it's about following my rules. And that's how I keep my psychology intact, that I'm focusing on my rules. I'm going through step 1, 2, and 3, because regardless of whether you take a loss, the market still has opportunity for you to regain. So that's how basically I keep my, like, meditating, of course. So I have this routine that I do. I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying my best to get a home workout in, meditating, saying my affirmations, doing my due diligence, like I said, going through my analysis, because at the end of the day, if I know that I followed all my rules, hey, sometimes the market wants to do whatever it wants to do. So that's not my fault. I just want to make sure that, hey, I'm doing my due diligence as a trader. I'm doing my due diligence as a person so I can be as successful as possible. So, but don't get me wrong. Sometimes as a human, even though that you're doing all the good things and the psychology is there, but that emotional aspect of it, of course, is still, how can I say, like a thorn in your side. Like, even though you're trying your best to meditate and get everything right, but at the same time, especially if you put in the time to do your analysis, sometimes you're so focused on being right rather than adapting to market conditions. So that is still a battle that I'm still trying to figure out, because sometimes, you know what, I have great psychology days, but sometimes it's just like impulse and emotions, and you have plans and you're like, hey, I want, if this trade hit 50 pips, that's an easy 10K. And you're literally planning your whole life around this trade that may not go in your direction at the time. So that's sometimes a consistent battle, but we try our best, of course, to stick to the rules.
Okay, absolutely. And to be honest, I haven't heard it put that way before. And that was like almost an epiphany that I just got. Not basing your entire life off of one trade. Like this may or may not work out. This may be a loss according to your strategy. You may have to get out. This may be like a small win. Like basing your whole life off of a trade, thinking that this is going to be the big one, it's going to the moon. I'm sorry, but you just can't do that.
You can't do that, until you get the experience and get that knowledge. Like it's always going to be a battle, but you have to, like, your mind have to be stronger than your emotions, because what we're feeling is not real at the moment. It may be real right now, but longevity wise, there's still opportunity. And as long as you focus on the next trade, because it takes only one trade to really transition your whole life. Like I remember a story, one of my good friends, when I first started trading, he was losing and blowing out his accounts so many times, but it was towards the end of 2018 that he took $500 to 30K. And it was showing you like, he, like one of the best traders I know, shout out to him, but he literally was able to, you know what, he said, I'm not going to let my ratio basically mess up my psychology, because sometimes we get caught up in the ratio, right?
Yes.
Our percentage rate, our win rate and loss rate. And not to say it's not important, but sometimes that doesn't mean that you're the most profitable just because you're winning some of the trades more than you're losing, but it's based on the risk to reward ratio. Like you can have an 83%, but that extra 17% is what you're still not in profit. You're still not, you're still not considered to have an opportunity to get a payout. So that's just really the focus. It's like not allowing one trade or not allowing your ratio or your percentage to mess with you, because at the end of the day, we're all in here for one thing. We're looking for volatility. We're looking to be profitable. We're looking to execute our skill set. So that's just really the focus, like more so looking at the positive rather than just the trade itself, because sometimes, hey, the market is going to do whatever it wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say this is also another great transition there. So payout wise,
I'm with you. We're here.
Dude, you got it. I know.
We're working together.
So payout wise, what is your experience with the payout? A lot of people on here, not a lot, but we get a few that they're just skeptical. They're like, okay, is TFT even real? Do we even give people money? So what is kind of your experience with the whole payout process?
So I recently just had a payout. So honestly, the transition is so smooth. Like that's one of the things that I can say that I've been able to love about the Funded Trader program. One, the customer service. The customer service is on point at any given moment, depending on like what hours of the day. You're going to have a representative that can speak to you. You're going to have a representative that has knowledge about what you're asking. You're going to get emails consistently letting you know, hey, this is what's going on. You're getting motivational emails as well that's showing you people that's going through the same process that is profitable as well. So overall, when it comes to the payouts, I can say that the Funded Trader program does a good job, because wherever date they say that you're going to get your payout by 11:59, it's there. And if it's not there, I haven't experienced that. But regardless of the fact, like the consistent communication is what, to me, makes you guys definitely like the elite version of prop firms, just because you're not letting your traders wait for conversation, communication, insight. Like you guys are consistently like sending us emails, letting us know, hey, you can get 125% on your refund if you sign up today. Like there's discount codes, there's the Discord. You guys are having events. Like overall, everything outside of actually getting paid is what makes it worth it. Because you can be getting paid, but the environment and the community that you're in is not as supportive. It's not like you're not getting that extra support that you need in order to be successful. So regardless of the fact, like I had a great first payout. You guys did a phenomenal job. Even when I didn't have like a great understanding of what was going on, I was able to get on the customer service chat. Somebody was answering me right away. So I was overall satisfied as a trader and as a client. That was the best thing that could happen.
Okay, good. That makes me feel incredible. I love to be part of this team because I get the same feedback. I'm like, yes, we're doing it right.
And well, I've done a little research on the Funded Trader program, and I learned that like this prop firm is built by traders.
Exactly. So that's how you can tell.
That's a plus overall. It's like not only that there's actual people that's going through the same thing that you've gone through in a trading space, but you can trust what's going on, because it's not just a random person that said, hey, I have capital, let me open up a prop firm. It was like, no, these people have gone through the process and executed the same positions that you executed, took the same psychological training that you have to be able to get to this level. I feel like it's inspiring to other traders that are working towards common goals.
Yes. It's like with TFT, you're not a number. You're not just like a client. It's like, this is by traders for traders. Like, we all get it. Yeah. Okay, next question would be, what is your advice to traders that they've got the challenge, but they keep blowing accounts, they just haven't quite got that payout? I feel like that's most of our viewers. They're so close. What can they do differently? What's your advice for those guys?
My advice to new traders that are starting the challenge, just be patient. I know that sounds so cliche, but the market literally rewards patience. I feel like sometimes the reason why we're consistently blowing these challenges is because we want to hurry up and get that capital. We want to hurry up and execute these positions, and you feel like fear of missing out. You're not missing out on anything, because regardless, whatever happens, 30 days is still going to pass anyways. Whether you pass the challenge or whether you fail the challenge, you still have to go through 30 days in a month regardless. So I I would say just trust your analysis. Understand if you're not there at the moment, go back and get extra training, watch videos, find a mentor, find a colleague within the Discord community, and don't be afraid to reach out. I feel like sometimes new traders, when it comes to just the market in general, we have a sense of pride. We don't want to go learn a strategy from someone else, or we don't want to pay that extra amount of money to get a course. But that is what's going to transition your trading experience, because you're going to find out that, hey, you may not gain everything that you need from this particular individual, but at the end of the day, there's something that you can grasp that if you just tweak it just a little bit, that you can maximize and be able to pass. Because I was going through that when I first was passing, when I was going through the challenge. It took me 12 days. I was this close to hitting my first valuation target, but I ended up having to start all over, lost all the profit. And this is exactly what I did. I took a step back and I said, hey, look at your win and loss rate. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just holding on to your losing trades more than your winning trades, and you're reacting on impulse. Take a step back, go back to your analysis, trust your skill set, and know that you deserve it. And that's one of the things I would say I want to encourage traders is, when you get on this platform, understand that this is a new opportunity to literally change your life, because you're getting access to more capital that you probably didn't have before. So embrace that. Understand that, hey, you deserve to win. You deserve to pass. And as long as you're willing to put in the work to execute what you need, then the sky is the limit. And if you don't land on the sky or on the moon, you'll land amongst the stars. But just really go ahead and just trust yourself and be confident, and everything else will flow.
Exactly. For our viewers, you guys take some notes here. This is a very common denominator for, and especially our interviewers that we have their payouts. It's this like underlying discipline, this like level-headedness, and this patience. I feel like those are just the three common denominators here with all of our payouts, is that patience and like this grounded feeling. Like I'm getting such like a grounded, this sounds like a weird vibe thing, but I'm getting like a very grounded vibe from you. Like just very down to earth, grounded, disciplined, and patience. Yeah. That's all you need, guys. It's going to take time. Like time is definitely a thing. Yeah. Some people have been doing this for years. It's just like anything else in life. You got to learn how to do it. I mean, all the advice you gave was incredible.
Yeah. And then just to add a little sprinkle is just know who you are. Like a lot of times I found myself when I first was starting my trading journey is going through imposter syndrome, because I was surrounded by a lot of my colleagues that were profitable, that were successful. And now with social media and just with all the technology and opportunity and education that is out there when it comes to trading, sometimes you can start putting that pressure on yourself. Like, hey, I just seen somebody make this amount of money. Why not me? Or I just seen this person just hit a major target goal. Why not me? And at the end of the day, just trust your process and trust your journey. And literally, sometimes we're taking the same positions as these people that we see on Instagram. The only difference is position sizing. So once you hone in on your skill, once you hone in on your education, and you really just stop putting so much pressure on yourself, and you know who you are, and you trust your journey, everything else is going to work out. Because like I said, the market rewards those who are willing to put in the work. And as long as you're working on that skill set, don't be such in a rush to drop a standard lot or go trade a US 30 or trade a gold. Start off small and work your way up. Build your capital. Make sure that you're getting paid out. And if it's not on the first round, the second round, the third round. But at some point, you're going to continuously see yourself advancing and growing. And then with a blink of an eye, you're going to realize, wow, okay, I made it. Like I start hitting some of my goals and my profit targets. And why was I such in a rush? Because it was bound to happen anyways. So that's what I would continue like say to the traders is, hey, just continue knowing who you are, trusting your journey, trusting your process, because the space there's no limits in it.
Oh, that was so great. Oh my God. Thinking imposter syndrome, that's got to be a huge thing with trading. And I haven't talked to anyone about it yet.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And just like you said, with social media, like seeing people with yachts and Lambos and doing all this.
Ferraris and Rolexes. Like,
you're like, what am I doing
pressure?
wrong? Mm-hmm. It's not you. And oh my God, we got to connect after this. I got gotta find you on social media.
Yeah, definitely find me on
We're gonna be in it.
And one of the things I can say that sometimes I don't like about our industry, it's not talked about enough. Like mental health and psychology is not talked about enough.
Right.
Imposter syndrome is not talked about enough because this is the real world. Like there's people that's literally blowing accounts is because they're looking at their favorite mentor, buying a yacht and buying a supercar and not understanding that your favorite mentor has gone through a process that they may not have allowed the world to know about. And that's the thing. Social media is just a glimpse of reality. And sometimes as traders, because of the whole movement of crypto and stocks and foreign exchange, there's so much more access and accessibility to this opportunity. But at the same time, people aren't as vulnerable. People don't want to talk about how they blew a funded account challenge. They don't want to talk about how they blew their own capital. They're not willing to talk about it, but they're pushing this narrative that this can happen to anybody. And it's not. The amount of people that are successful in the trading space is not as great. But at the same time, the percentage of those that are successful sometimes is not talked about because of the skepticism of this is a scam, this isn't real. And that's not the case. So I would say more vulnerability in this space could really shed light on a lot of people that are putting undue pressure on themselves to be able to be this social media, I would say, representation of success. And at the end of the day, your level of success comes with what makes you happy. I may not want a supercar, but being able to provide for my family and help my father may be my level of success. So don't take away from what makes you happy and try to duplicate it based on what you see on Instagram. Because what's on Instagram, like being around like the trading space and seeing people just hit the maximum, I would say, profit target goals is crazy. But at the same time, I know how it feels to put your last in this market and think that, hey, this is going to be the trade that takes me to the next level. And that's not the case.
That was incredible. That was a great way to end this all. Just our main goal here, guys, is we want to pay out. We want to bring it back down to like a realistic level. We're all traders here. Everyone's profit is different. Everyone's trading style is different. Where everyone is in their trading journey is different. Same goal is we want to pay out. We want to get profit. We want to be consistent. Only look at yourself. Like you said, that was incredible. Know who you are. I'd say that's the biggest thing to take away from this. Know who you are as a trader because you can't compare yourself to the people on Instagram. So to end that all, and thank you so much for your time today. I'm gonna look you up on Instagram, by the way, after this. So we're gonna connect. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right, you guys, buy the Funded Trader program. I would say challengees and challengers. I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Tori. I appreciate you. You're phenomenal. Like, keep up the good work and continue representing the brand as much as possible. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.